Welcome back to the Real Deal Podcast with Asher Cohen. I'm Asher Cohen, your host. Today we are with Stuart Babcock with Complete Pest Management, but it's not just about pests today. It's about squashing bugs and building business with Stuart. Stuart, you have an extensive background in different businesses, different job titles. Who's Stuart Babcock?
That wasn't in the script.
That makes it even better.
Oh gosh, I'm a lot of things, but overall, I just like to treat people the way I want to be treated. And I carry that through a long time ago when I was teaching high school. I taught my kids, don't do it if, or whatever you're about to do, would you do it if your mom was standing next to you on this side and a police officer was standing next to you on that side? So that's how I treat my clients and my business, and everything else is very transparent, very open, and everyone's family. It's what you do. You take care of everybody.
Right now, you're the owner of Complete Pest Management, operating that business. Where are you based out of?
We are just north of the Deer Valley Airport, so basically I-17 and Pinnacle Peak.
Okay. And where do you serve?
We serve the valley, but I don't really go south of Indian School. In my industry, there's a lot of pest control companies here in the valley. I know several of the operators. We work in groups. We belong to groups as owners, and there's some very good companies out there. So I have some relationships and established rapport with other companies so that if, say, for example, you're in Ahwatukee or Casa Grande or Tempe, some area that I don't serve, I know someone who does the industry to my level, my standards, and I know I can give that referral with a clear conscience, knowing that they're going to be in very good hands if necessary. But I serve the North Valley, so Cave Creek, Carefree, Paradise Valley, Scottsdale, Phoenix, North Phoenix. I have been dabbling, and we're growing out in the Sun City part of town and all stops in between.
So if you're looking for the authority of pests, rodents, because there's two different worlds, right?
Oh yeah.
Termites, you're the authority. You're the person in Arizona to call on birds,
bees, snakes, snake fences, home seals, you name it. Weed control, we do that, a lot of that as well.
Because they go together a little bit?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit more why, because I don't think a lot of people think of like pest control when they have a weed in their house or they're in front of their house.
Yeah, the pests have to live somewhere. So if you have a lot of landscaping materials around your property, that could be bushes that are overgrown or heavy up against a foundation, all you're providing is a harborage, a hiding place for them to live and to breed. And it's hard to get your materials that you need to use to control down into those zones, especially in Arizona. So many things have thorns and really don't want to play nice with you. So yeah, landscape materials have a huge effect on pest control.
Okay. How did you get into pest control? How did you get into all of this?
As I mentioned earlier, I was a high school teacher. Prior to that, I was a firefighter up in Wyoming. Came down to Arizona where my family lived and got my degree in teaching, was teaching high school. The school resource officer was a good friend of mine and said I'd be a good cop. I tried it out and was a police officer for over a decade, about 12 years. Prior to that, when I was teaching, I was in the National Guard. So after serving my 8 years, I bought my military time, and so I was able to retire early from the police department. Family member of mine has been in the pest control industry for 50 years. And
That's a lot of bugs.
Yeah. So he said I'd be a natural. I came in. I donated a year of my salary to the company and worked for free to learn the industry inside and out. I rode with a senior master tech who's been also working for 50 plus years. And I just literally filled notebooks every day, learning from him, asking questions, writing down the chemical names, going home, reading, researching, learning the labels, and putting it all together. And after that, what I considered my apprenticeship, my two business partners brought me in and gave me not a controlling share, but a share of the company, a manageable share of the company. I'm the general manager, I run it, and I'm out in the field every day. I don't lead from the office, I lead in the field. So it's very frequent that I'm out on sites doing quality control checks. I'm out with my technicians if they need help, if they have a long run, or if everyone has a life, if you get a flat tire or you got to take your kids to teacher conferences, I cover their routes for them. So I work a lot in the field. I'm in the office a lot. I have a very good office manager that does the routing and the phones and emails and keeps the day-to-day shop running. I handle the long-term broadcast budgeting and financials, long-term planning, and then I'm in the field helping the guys.
So it's not just learning everything that there could be learn about regarding pests and rodents, but you're out there in the field as well. You're managing the team, making sure that that's going well. You're managing inbound customer service calls and sales calls to make sure that the sales are up, the customer service is taken care of. All the hats you're wearing, which are a lot, what would be the best piece of advice for other business owners that are out there? Because a lot of business owners watch this, listen to this podcast. How do you manage all of that and also seem to have a funny disposition or the humor that you exude in your text messages and in conversation? Like, how do you do it all?
Frontline is the teacher. You learn that the kids are, you can't be strict and direct all the time. You have to have a sense of humor. Police work, I dealt with a lot of life and death. I dealt with a lot of heartache. And you learn that off-the-cuff humor sometimes helps a lot. And that's been my life from as long as I can remember, though in family stories, is that I was a class clown, maybe. I won't fully admit to that, but I was told.
I think you just did.
But I do, my advice to new business owners, let's answer your question directly, is don't sweat the small stuff, but pay attention to the small details. That's huge. If you don't take care of the small things when it's easy to handle, it always turns into something big, and that whatever big it is tends to bite you financially or emotionally or in an employee of some nature. So you've got to address it when it's small and easy. And everything else, if you pay attention to the details, everything seems to just take care of itself.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Pay attention to the details.
Pay attention to the details. I love that.
Yep.
And it's so true.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it starts small and then it starts growing. That's like a weed.
Yep.
And then if you don't take care of it, you said that it'll bite you. Yeah. That's very interesting how that is very tied into today's conversation.
That's my life. And I put out the fires. That's general manager, owner. That's my job. I am very proud to say that I have lost almost no clients due to bad service or disagreements of anything. It's always they're moving out of state or something of that nature. I go above and beyond to communicate with my clients, communicate with my employees, make sure that everyone knows it's very transparent. This is what I want, this is where we're going, this is what we need. That way when something goes wrong at your home and you're like, that bug guy, he didn't do, no, it's, hey, remember when he talked to us and said this might happen? We need to call him. And I tell my clients all the time, please don't wait until you're frustrated. Please don't wait until the situation is so bad that it's very difficult to fix. Call me when it's small. Call me when you're irritated that, hey, why did I see that? I'll come out. If it's under my warranty, I'll fix it. And there's no questions asked. If it's not, I'll advise you as best I can what to do, how to fix it, or what to worry about, and what just we can take care of this and let's move on.
Yeah, you'll create a solution around it versus just put your arms up and your hands up and too bad, so sad.
You call my office, you're going to get me. I answer the phone. And if I'm not on the phone, it's because I'm on with someone else, and my office manager will patch you through when I'm available.
Yeah. The reason why it's called The Real Deal Podcast is because we want people that are the real deal in their industry and their field and what they do as a human being. That's first and foremost, which that's you. Yeah, and that's why you're on.
It's real every day.
It's real, but you're genuine about it and you're wanting to serve.
Yeah.
Like the servant leadership in you exudes all the time. And that's another reason why this is a perfect fit. Our real estate company recommends you anytime there's a rodent, anytime there's a pest, like you're top of mind for us because like I said earlier, you're the authority when it comes to something that is bothering someone in their home or around their home. And that's what we're always thinking of. So I feel like everyone listening or watching, if there's something that's bothering you around your home and you're just not sure about it, please call Stuart, please call Complete Pest Management. And it's not a commercial, it's the genuine conversation that we're having.
Right.
And now people are getting to learn who you are, not just the logo, not just the website, not just the services you provide, but now people can go deeper with, okay, I like that guy. Like, he really wants to watch out for me and my home from stinging and biting insects. And
remember, I treat everyone like their family, so it's my sister's house, it's my mom's house, it's my dad's house, it's the people that are inside of it, I care about them.
Yeah, you've helped us personally and so many of our friends and family members and clients. There was one thing I wanted to mention that Danielle wanted me to mention.
Yeah.
Was, we send you out. Someone says they need to get a termite treatment.
Money, there we go.
And they're like, we just want a second opinion. We're like, we got the person for you, without sharing too much detail of who the person is or whatever that is. But how did that go? Like, you were called and then you went out?
Yeah, Danielle had reached out to me and said that she wanted an opinion from someone that she knew and she could trust. I said, I'm more than happy to come out and take a look. And she goes, if they need to do it, can you give us a price? I said, absolutely. Got out there, did the inspection, looked at the history of the home first, and there's a state database that carries for 5 years that I can look up and stuff. And so I know the back history of the home. I came out, I listened to the homeowners. They told me what their experience was, what they saw. They pointed it out to me. I looked, I did a full inspection inside and out, and then I presented to the client my recommendations, my opinion. And I know that I wasn't the only person coming in to give them an estimate or an inspection, but they did not need the service at that time. It was preventative. They were getting ready to sell the home, which is what your area is. And what did I think? There was no active termites. There was in the past. They were addressed. There was no activity going on. And I know that they had been told that they had to do an application, which I didn't think was necessary. And I told them that. I said, there's no active termites here at this time. If the new owners want something, or if you want peace of mind, I can do preventative treatments. I can provide you that warranty that you can then transfer to the new owners. I'm more than happy to do that. But in my opinion, you don't have any activity at this time. It's not necessary. It is an option for you to choose if you want.
And that comes up so often in our industry, where people are led to believe that they need the treatment right now, as if there is an activity right now. And there isn't in this case. There wasn't in this case. And it's just something that people need to be made aware. That's really the awareness of it. And you could have easily just said, yep, I agree also. You need a treatment. And how much was that one? Okay, I'll try to
$1.99.
There you go.
Today. Yeah,
there we go. Yeah.
I always lean back to that family, that friend situation. Just take care of your neighbors.
Yeah.
Be honest, be transparent. If they need it, I'll tell them they need it. If they don't, I'll tell them they don't. I'll give them big thing is I give options.
Yeah.
And that's the key part of it. My pastor at the church jokes about it being small, medium, and large t-shirt. So I use that in my sales. When I come in, hey, here's what you can do that's going to fix the problem, but there's no warranty. It's just a spot, and we're going to take care of it. Here's a medium size of these are areas you need to pay attention to. If you want, I'll do the full inspection at top to bottom, inside, outside, everything, crack and crevice. Comes with a warranty, and this is what it costs. And I lay it out, and here's the pros, here's the cons, and you make the decision. It's your home, and you need to decide. I point out if I see something, hey, you have these spiders up in your eaves or down in your patio equipment. These are the species that they are. If it's just an average house spider, you don't need to worry about that stuff. Now, you may have an opinion or be an insect phobe and say, I'm sorry, no insect at all. Okay, I'll address that. But there's other people who are like, let the lizards alone, let the butterflies alone. Okay, that means I can't apply certain treatments because those treatments are broad spectrum and will harm other subspecies that are not the target. And therefore, I won't use them. We'll focus in on just what you want. And sometimes it's mechanical, sometimes it's chemical, sometimes it's cultural, meaning I have to teach you some things that you know when it's time to go to a mechanical type application or a chemical type application. And it's called IPM, Integrated Pest Management. And you come into a situation and you look at it and you determine what is the softest footprint for the environment and for the homeowner, and what is their tolerance for pests, and you got to find that sweet spot in the middle. And for one person it's organic, for others it's pseudo-organics, and others it's don't touch anything, but I need something. And so you have to educate them on, I use organics, I use essential oils, I use pseudochemicals, I use full boron chemical applications. It really is just a la carte for what the customer wants.
Yeah, like the whole spectrum of, there's people that they're worried about, they have dogs, they have babies, the whole 9 yards.
Correct.
You can service and put a plan together that's for them.
It's tailored to the client.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Every
It's
one of my
custom.
sales are tailored to my clients.
Perfect. So now that we understand that, there are times, I know for sure, right, and you know even more,
Yeah.
that there are people out there that'll hire you, you do the job, all of the pests that they saw before are now nowhere to be found. So then they think, let's stop having the preventative treatment. Hey, he did it. There's no more scorpions, there's no more spiders, there's no more ants, whatever it is. And they feel like, hey, we're good. Why is stopping service not a good idea?
Because nature is nature. And the chemicals that I use are microencapsulated or have a half-life anywhere from 30 days to 90 days, depending on the product. And once that's gone, the barrier's gone and the insects will return. They've been here for millions of years. There's no reason why they would not come back. A lot of my clients, like I said, have to be educated. They come from another part of the country, East Coast, wherever, that has a winter. And so a lot of those places don't do pest control in the winter because it's frozen, there's no need. But you have to keep in mind, our winter is your summertime. And what happens during the summer? The bugs are active. They're in the harborages, they're breeding, they're living, they're eating, they're growing, they're doing what they do. When it gets hot, they come into the air conditioning, which is inside your home. When it's cold, they come out and do out and where they can get to the warmth and stuff. So stopping pest control is not a good idea in Arizona or in the valley specifically, because you need to have constant barriers in place for those population controls.
What does that look like? Is it a quarterly thing? Is it twice a year? Is it every other month? Is it once, every month? Is it weekly? What does that look like?
It depends on the insect and on the pressure of that population in your zone, as well as what you are comfortable with. For the vast majority of clients, every other month is more than sufficient. As I said, the products are microencapsulated. They last anywhere from 70 to 75 up to 90 days, depending on exposure to heat, sunlight, which we have a lot of both of, which is why I say 60 days. I don't want to test that out at 90. Some clients are fine with the quarterly. Some want monthly services. Monthly services, I have to adjust the chemicals because we can't put as much chemical out there every single time, because there's limits at what you can apply on a label during a year, during one whole year. So I
For
track
safety?
For safety, for the clients, for the pets, for you name it, for the environment alone by itself. On environmental issues, there's big issues about rodenticides and safety to predators out there, and I have a social responsibility to my community of understanding what my materials do and what can happen on that second or that third layer out. And so I have to educate my clients as well, as this is what we're doing, and you have pets and you have children, therefore I'm not going to put any of these products in your yard. If you want that product, you need to hire another company, because I won't do it. If you have kids, I'm sorry, I'm not going to take that chance of an exposure.
Yeah. There's a lot that, from an outsider thinking of like pest control, it's like I just think of the guy holding something and he's spraying, or he has a backpack filled with something and he's walking around the house. He's there for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And you guys are like moving things around.
We get underneath the patio furniture. Our services average anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes in length, because we get into every crack and crevice underneath your patio furniture. We're moving planters around because we got to get back behind. That's where they hide. That's where the crickets are. Crickets are the base food line, so you got to get the crickets addressed so it doesn't attract in the spiders and the scorpions. Ants are, in Arizona, the two largest insect families out there are termites and ants, by the millions underground in their colonies. There's not a question of whether you have them, it's just, do you see them? And a lot of people don't want them around their barbecues, around their pools, and so you have to, we call it SOS or SAD, we seek out the source or search and destroy. Those acronyms that are what I use for my technicians in the field, they're probably rolling their eyes right now because they hear it out of me all the time.
You mentioned scorpions. That's a big thing in Arizona.
Yep.
I have clients consistently asking when they're in their home searching journey, does this neighborhood have a lot of scorpions, or does this part of the neighborhood, does this house have a lot of scorpions? How do we know? How can we, what areas should we avoid? You told me a long time ago something about you can have your house with really no scorpion issue, and your next door neighbor can have a major issue. And it's just weird how that works. You mentioned something about how they move. Can you help everyone understand? This is a big question that a lot of people have.
Yeah, I know some of the larger companies track statistics and can say this part of town has more issues than this part of town. But the reality of it is these insects, specifically scorpions, ants, almost all of them, leave pheromones behind, trails that other insects, other termites in their colony then follow, or other ants in their colony will follow. Yeah, it's very likely. They are millions of years old, and very likely this has been their path that they've always walked. Now you stuck a house there, and so they're going to come up and over, or they're going to go through your house. One way or the other, they're going to carry on their little path and do their little thing that they for millions of years have done. So your neighbor may not be in that pathway and may not have an issue. Or the two of you will have a shared wall, what we call a party wall, your block fence. And that could be a major hot zone, and for some reason they like to go to the left and not to the right. Why? I don't know. I just have to deal with what it is. So you got to get down again. That's to seek out the source, the SOS, and locate them, and then administer to what it's going to take to control that population. It might be dust inside of a block fence. It might be a sealing, doing a sealant and locking it out. It may be a chemical sealant and all kinds of stuff. We work the solution, and you're the one that makes the decision of what grade I get.
Yeah.
I don't do the same thing each and every single time to each and every single house. It's not a cookie cutter application. It really is, what's your issues? What do I know specifically? What do my technicians know? And how can we help you? And we stay on it until you're happy.
Yeah. So you're doing the research, you've filled your cup, you've now provided this knowledge to your technicians, so when they're out in the field, they know how to serve. If they don't, you're just a phone call away, or you're also out there with them if needed. There's so many facets that you've taken on. We've hit all the high notes when it comes to you and getting into the business, really your secret weapons, if you will, of building the business.
Yeah.
All of the details, how much they matter, but don't sweat the small stuff. That kind of equilibrium to make tomorrow a reality and keep moving forward. We talked about just prevention, but also the applications that you work with, and to customize them for depending on who the homeowner is. We talked a lot about the residential side, but what about commercial? What about buildings, commercial buildings?
Yeah, we address commercial as well.
Okay.
I have clients that have farms that are organic, so therefore they can't have a chemical application. You have to certify that. I still got to do pest control, I still got to control them. Commercial wise, what a lot of commercial places deal with are ants, the occasional scorpion, the occasional cockroaches inside the buildings. If they have a community kitchen that all the employees have their lunch at, not everyone cleans up as well as they should. And you'll get ants, or you'll get somebody leaves the door open on a nice day and the flies get in, and now you got an issue with gnats or flies inside. If, like a lot of these office buildings, you see this beautiful bank of glass windows, insects love glass windows, so you get a lot of gnats, you get a lot of spiders, small little house spiders that are all in all the little corners and stuff, and you got to address those. And yeah, so commercial wise, there's a lot of stuff that we do for rodents, rodent work, restaurants, very specific in what you have to do for them and what they need to do at their end. So much of it is, I know the image of us is spraying. You got some guy in dirty overalls and hasn't shaved in a couple of days, and he's got this bottle and what is in it, and he's spraying stuff around, and then he's gone. And what just happened? What was applied? Is it safe? There's so much to what we do more than just a spray. There's treatments, there's applications that we do, and services that we apply, and it's more of an arrangement. And we want to make sure that you get what you paid for and that you're taken care of. And if you're not satisfied, let's figure it out. What do we need to do to make sure you're satisfied? And that's key to my business aspect of it, is I don't just spray. I bring a lot of things to the table, and I do a lot of transparency. And at the end of the day, we either agree to do business or we agree that you're going to go and do business with someone else.
Yeah.
Which is fine too. Hey, it's free country.
Yeah. It's not the pressure, it's just the informative, it's advice. Here are the options, and you got to make the decision as the homeowner.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much for being on. Before we conclude and wrap up, what else do we need to know?
All right, there's a few points that we made. Missing treatments can be very disruptive. These are life cycles you're dealing with. You miss a life cycle, your problem is right back to the starting point. Earlier we talked about why it's not good to put pest control on hold or skip a service. You're dealing with a life cycle. Great, you saved yourself $50, and it's going to cost you $200 to get back on track and get all the initials back in place and barriers. Think twice before you want to do something like that. The other one, and that was one of the things, is you don't want to be reactive to a situation. You want to be consistent and proactive and ahead of it. And that's where we win the game, is the barriers are in place, we're proactive, we're dealing with issues. You see something, you call us, we jump on it. We don't wait until it's a full-blown crisis and now we're in trouble. And I think the only other thing I wanted to bring up, 2 of my technicians have been in this industry. One is my senior master tech. He's been 50 years in this industry. He has forgotten more stuff than I know. I rely on him all the time. Art is amazing at what he does.
He is.
My route supervisor, one of my head technicians, Keith, has been in the industry over 20 years. So when I said I've been doing this for 10 years and I think I'm the authority, oh no, I'm not even close to it. My business partner, 50 years, my master tech, these guys have all been in there for 25, 30, 40, 50 years.
Which makes Complete Pest Management
Very complete.
the authority.
Yeah.
That because of all of the experience from all of you over the time.
And I'm good, I don't mind saying that, but they're better. And I learn something new every single day from them. And I know before I go to one of these guys and tell them, I want this and this is why I want it, I better read that label and I better know it inside and out, because they're going to ask a couple of questions and it's going to be obvious right away whether I'm on top of it or I'm not. And a leader has to be, it's okay to say I don't know and let me go look it up, but you can't do that every day.
Yeah.
You got to do your research and know what you're doing.
You got to know some stuff.
Yep.
As technology in the world changes and evolves, how does that relate to pest control? Is there a technology piece, or is there
Huge.
There is, okay.
Huge.
So there is an evolution of
Yeah.
control of pests.
So the main huge manufacturers out there are always doing research. They're always improving the quality of their products. There's new technologies as far as, say, with rodent trapping, of smart traps that actually know whether they're open or closed, if something's in them or not, false alarm or not. That saves technicians a lot of time. And just there's so much AI's coming into the picture now. No, you're not going to see a robot at your door or anything else like that. If that ever happens, I doubt I'm in the industry. But AI is big in our industry. It's a lot of knowledge, and you can use it for improving the quality of the customer service experience alone, much less the way I do marketing, the way I do billing, the way I do my budgeting and my forecasting. All of that technology is huge in that. And the products that are coming out on the market are just from what was there 10 years ago, what was there 5 years ago, are just, they're designing science. Science is designing the materials that we use are now designed for that little guy. In the past, when you used that big can and you sprayed it all over, that kills everything for weeks and weeks. it also is harmful to you and around your family. And so now we're using products that are designed for that little spot right here. Your family's healthy, your pets are healthy, you're safe, and yet that insect is still getting controlled and destroyed, for a better term.
That's interesting. Yeah, that wasn't part of what we talked about in preparation for today, but I was thinking like there's an evolution to how things are being done. The smart box or the smart trap, when you were saying that, I was thinking of the old mouse traps, right?
Yeah.
You put a piece of cheese or peanut butter or something.
Still do.
And you still do that. So these smart traps, I'm just curious, is there like a Bluetooth or some sort of thing that tells you that something's in it, or we're not there yet? Or we are
No, they're definitely there.
They're there.
They're there.
So you can log in and see if there's something in there or not. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. And that comes at a higher expense, so you have to invest into that. And
Who's the person for that? Who is it? Just someone that wants to spend that, or who is that for, really?
those are very solid for commercial applications.
Okay.
When you're putting out 100 traps at a time.
A shopping center,
Yeah,
or a,
when you're doing a large area.
Okay.
Or for homeowners in residential is when you're going up into the attics and you're going down into, some of our homes have crawl spaces or basements.
Mm.
When you're getting into hard to access locations,
That's where you want it.
a massive time saver.
Yeah.
And the client can look at it, you can look at it, and everyone can see the material together. There's no more of this little bag with something's in it and you know, I got something, and you don't know what's in there. Now you can actually physically see and yourself. The client can, you can.
Interesting.
And it's not for everyone. There's a cost to that. But to answer your original question, technology is huge. And if you don't embrace it and stay with it, you're going to be able to survive for a little while. Bugs are millions of years old. We're going to be killing them the same way down the road. But the technology is there, and you have to pick and choose what's right for you, but to stay on it and stay with it. Because if you don't, you're going to be yesterday's newspaper.
You're going to be a dead bug.
Basically, yeah.
Got it. Thank you for being on, Stuart. Great seeing you as always.
Yeah.
And again, any rodent, pest, weeds,
Snakes,
termites, all the things,
bees.
call over to Stuart. Talk to you guys later.